Welcome to Funnel Hacker Radio Podcast, where we go behind the scenes and uncover the tactics and strategies top entrepreneurs are using to make more sales, dominate their markets, and how you can get those same results. Here's your host, Dave Woodward.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Funnel Hacker Radio. You guys are in for a crazy ride today. You have the opportunity of bringing on one of my dear friends who's been just crushing it on Facebook ads, but he's also been creating a ton of software and things. This is Wilco DeCray. Wilco, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Glad to be here.
So you're founder of UpViral and of Connect.io, and I know you've just been killing it with just a ton of Facebook stuff. And I always get asked all the time, how do I do this whole Facebook thing? How do I make this thing work? So let's kind of just dive right in. And if you don't mind, tell people what you're up to these days and what's working on Facebook and what's not.
Sure, man. So like you said, I run two software companies. One is UpViral, the other one is Connect.io, and that one is all about Facebook ads. But funnily enough, like the main thing, or one of the main ways that we are driving traffic and getting customers into our business is also using Facebook ads. And to be honest, I've neglected it for quite a while because I've always been focused on other traffic strategies, and I think it's been pretty much the same as a lot of people, right? It's sort of that scary thing because you need to spend a lot of money on it before you would ever get results. But at some point, I just made the judgment call of hey, I'm going all in. I'm going to make this work one way or another. And that's been the best thing ever. It's like in the past, I was always depending on affiliates who would promote my products, and either they will or they wouldn't. But either way, I had to ask them. And I was always depending on other people's businesses, right? So that's not the best way to grow a business. So once I started tapping into Facebook ads, and once I got it to convert, in the end, it all matters about one. There's only one thing that matters, right? Your ROI. I see people talk about how many likes you have and all these kind of things. Now that doesn't matter. It's all about ROI. How much do you put in, and how much are you getting out of it? And in the end, that's the only thing that really matters, right? One of the, if we're talking specifically about what works, video ads, they are crushing it right now for us. We love video ads. But in the end of the day, if people really want to dive into Facebook ads and they're not sure how to get started, or they're not getting it to work, usually the main thing that is wrong is actually what you guys talk all about, and that is to get your funnels to convert. Because you can't get Facebook ads. You'll have to spend money for it, right? So let's say you're willing to spend $1 a click, for example. You can only take that down so much, right? You wouldn't be able to get that down to a cent per click. However, how much you earn on every click, there's literally no limit to that, right? So part of running Facebook ads successfully is all about making sure your stuff converts. So it's really a battle between those things together, I would say.
Wilco, I think that's awesome. One of the things, we've talked about this a ton in the past, and that is you don't have a real business until you can buy traffic. And exactly. I've seen this happen so many times. And obviously, we do a lot of Dream 100 strategies. We're in the process right now of creating a massive Dream 100 campaign for a huge event we have here in September. But at the same time, a lot of it also comes down to you got to be able to spend money in a business. And it kind of goes back to what you were saying as far as the whole chicken and the egg type of thing. Well, I got to spend money, I want to make money, and I need a funnel that converts and all that kind of stuff. So as you kind of take a look at a business from Facebook standpoint, when do you start actually buying Facebook ads? Do you buy them right out the gate? Do you actually, what's your testing strategy? I know you guys are doing some serious campaigns and doing a lot as far as Facebook goes. So how does a person, first of all, get started with Facebook ads? Let's start there.
Yeah, well, sure. So you're asking when do you get started? When do you start running Facebook ads? And I think that would, first of all, really depends on what your budget is and how fast you wanna implement. Because obviously, you can spend time and you can spend money, right? There's either you spend time or you spend money. So if you don't want to spend as much money, then you wanna then you'll need to spend more time on it, right? So that means that you'll need to make sure that you have something that converts. You're going to try it with different traffic strategies, and you get your data from there. And obviously, you need to have something to sell, right? That's always your business needs to sell a service or a product, or even if it's an affiliate product, but you need to sell something. You need to get your money back. So for me right now, I'm actually confident that Facebook ads will be profitable. So right now, if I would start something new, I would start driving Facebook ads right away, even though I'm 100% sure that everything I spend initially, I will not make a profit on. I will not make a profit on that. But what I'm actually buying is data, right? I'm actually testing out which video ad will actually work, what headline would actually work, and also on, for example, on my website, like which opt-in funnel would actually convert, right? So I buy data, right? So initially, it's not even about making money, but like I said, that like it's really depending on where you are at your business, whether you're fine with like spending $1,000 or maybe even $2,000 on just getting data. Because if you're not, then you want to make sure that you fine tune everything even more, and you're already asking people around you like, do you think this will be good? Like you want to be more confident in what you're actually doing, so that you can get to profitable ads faster, or at least maybe not faster, but like by spending not as much money, I would say. Does that make sense?
Oh man, it makes so much sense. I think that the part I like most about what you said there, Wilco, that's the idea as far as you're buying data, because so many times people will talk about, oh, I'm going to do this. We're going to bring in, ask customers all these. I want their opinion on this. I want their opinion on that. And for our experience, what we found is unless a person's willing to take their credit card out and buy something, that's the only time I actually know that something really works. They can tell me, oh yeah, I love your headline. Oh yeah, I think this funnel is going to be great. But until someone actually takes their credit card out and buys something, that's the only time I know my funnel really works. It's my only time I know my ad works. And so I think the fact that you're looking at this as I'm buying data, and again, if you're going to be a business owner, you got to be willing to invest. And you're totally right. It's either time or money. And unfortunately, it's so much easier to be able to start with the money aspect. Time just takes a bunch of time. And if you got it, that's great. But I think even for a small investment of $1,000, you can buy a ton of data.
Exactly. And obviously you need to be prepared to actually execute on it, right? Because like data is just data, but you need to use the information and actually implement, right? So you want to be on top of it. It's not something that you set up now and, we'll just let it run for a month and then we're going to see what works. No, you actually want to be in the trenches. You want to make sure like you're going to check what video ad would actually work, what headline would actually work. Like you want to make changes to your opt-in page right away. If you see it doesn't convert, don't think that it will suddenly start working. I mean, data does not lie. I mean, everybody else lies. Data doesn't lie. So if it's not working, you fix it, you change it. And just to give you an example, and this is might actually be a good strategy for those who are, for example, doing video ads, just as an example to what level we're actually doing that, right? So a couple of weeks ago, I was setting up a new campaign. So I wanted to record a couple of new videos. So what I did is I shot basically first I wrote down 4 completely different angles for the video, right? So I scripted them all out, and these were not small changes, right? If it's just a small change, you're not going to see that much of difference. So there were like 4 completely angles. I basically touched on various different benefits of the actual product. Like they were completely different, right? So I had 4 different scripts, and I recorded each of those. For each of those scripts, I actually recorded 2 videos. One in my living room, more like casual, and the other one, which was in a studio, which was like super slick and more professional, right? And once again, all that, the whole purpose of that, why I'm creating these 8 videos and like 4 different scripts, 8 videos, is just to get a sense of like what works. So after a while, we saw like, all right, the casual videos in my living room, they actually work better. And out of these 4 scripts, one of them stood out as well. So obviously we didn't stop there, right? So then we took that video and we looked at the data, and I saw that the average watch time is actually just a couple of seconds, right? Because Facebook obviously has like an autoplay, so a lot of people, they start watching it, but like most people, they will just look at the very first couple of seconds, right? So you don't want to make a slow introduction where after 10 seconds maybe you're mentioning your hook. No, right away, first thing you're saying, first thing you're doing on your screen, you need to hook them into your video, right? So what we did, we took that one winning video, and all I did is I edited the first 5 seconds of the video. So different variations for the first 5 seconds, just to tweak it even further, see what introduction actually works best. And that's just an example of like how we like have a process of like systematically test out what script works best, what background works best, what first couple of seconds work best. And while doing that, we're also tweaking like our opt-in sign up page. Like you can go really in depth, and yes, it sounds like a lot, but the return is just insane. And I believe that's actually the level that you should be playing it if you really want to like get great ROIs, I would say.
Wilco, I love that idea. I see so many people when they're actually testing things, they do these minor tweaks and they think that's going to make that big difference. I love the idea that you're doing totally totally different scripts and really just trying to figure this thing out, and then completely different recording styles. I mean, that's the only way you can actually test things, especially when you first get started, when you don't know exactly what's going to work. That is a fantastic way of buying data, because here I've got literally 8 different videos. How long did you run those video campaigns before you got the data?
I think just around a week or 5 days, something like that.
Is that your normal test time, about 5 to 7 days?
It depends actually on how much we spend on it, and how much also I've got time myself as well. So because I like to check those stats myself as well. So it depends, but yeah, well, usually like, and it depends on the data as well. Like if there's a really small difference, then obviously you might want to take longer. But if like a big difference, you'll see right away. And obviously, like if there's a really small difference, then it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to test it out for like weeks and weeks, because I know that like, all right, the difference is not that big. I'll just go for one, and I'll, keep on going. I mean, it's all about speed as well. I mean, theory is nice and all, but as you know, it's all about implementation and taking fast action as well.
Which is one of the things I've always loved about you. You are one of the fastest action takers out there. So I just love, I mean, you seriously do a ton of quick stuff. So tell me now, you've got the video, what'd you guys do next?
So we actually tested out various funnels, right? So the first thing, like when I started out doing Facebook ads, I went for the 3-part video sequence, right? Like video 1, and you get the next video on the day number 2, and then the next video on the day later, and that like. When people are on Facebook, initially, like for starters, they're not waiting to be sold to, right? They're not. It's not like, oh, you're just gonna put a product in front of them and they're gonna buy it. So you want to sort of make sure they're aware of the thing that you have, and make sure they're aware of the problem that they have that you're actually solving. So, and secondly, like even if you grab their attention, and even if they sign up for example, your opt-in page or sign-up page, then you're brand new to them. Like they've never seen you before, so they're not like, it's hard to capture their attention for multiple days in a row, right? So for me, that didn't work, and I realized that we needed to basically go for the close more quickly. So tested out a bunch of things, and one of the things we're doing right now is we've got various automated webinars running, so that right away after they sign up, they actually go to an automated webinar, and that's where they can actually become a customer. So we're not waiting until like for a couple of days. We're the same day we're trying to convert them into a customer. However, we are doing some like even before this ad, we do have various other ads which is just about value, just about content. So either we are running ads for various blog posts that we created, written blog posts, which are super relevant to the webinar that we have after, and then we simply retarget those who read those. And actually what we do is we retarget everyone who has read at least 50% of that article. So if they just go to that article and they're not really interested, then we don't retarget them. But as soon as they read more than 50%, which we do using Connect Retarget, then we target the actual ad in which we actually trying to make a bit of money, right? So usually it's not just one ad. Usually it's like a series of various ads that we're running in order to get people from not knowing us at all to being aware of the problem they have and our solution, and then eventually to become a customer.
So on your blog ad, is that a video ad to a blog, or is it an image blog? Is it an image to blog? What's your ad like there?
Yeah, for those that are mostly just images, right? And I really just share that from my Facebook page, which is obviously a business page, but using my personal name. And that's also an interesting thing, is that when we target people cold, in other words, when people have never heard of us before, the very first ad, when we run ads from, for example, UpViral or from Connect.io, in other words, from a business name, they don't seem to convert as well. And then we changed it to running ads from my name, which is still a business page, but it's using my name, my face on it as well. And that works so much better, which makes sense, once again, because people are not on Facebook to be sold to. And as soon as they see a logo and they see a business name, they already know it's an ad. And if you actually, you're using your own face and your own name, then you sort of fall through the cracks. And while doing that, another good trick for everyone who's listening, use emoticons. Seriously, like it's the best thing ever, because normally, like most businesses, they don't use emoticons in their ads because it's like they don't want to use it. I don't know why, but like once I started using emoticons, we saw higher conversions as well. And I assume that is because it doesn't really look like an ad as much, right? It's more like a conversation instead of being this typical ad, I would say.
So are you doing emoticons in your in your title? Are you doing it in the comments? Where are you putting the emoticons?
Actually, in the post, in the description above the actual link, or the description above the actual video. So in the main description of your ad.
Very cool. And then, are you doing meme videos? Because I know we've seen a lot of success with meme videos as well.
Yeah, we do that. We do that as well. So we use that as well. And one power trick, if you wanna, for those of you who are doing video ads, if you can even record, for example, on your iPhone, something like WhatsApp. So for example, we have some ads running where it's basically just like a recording of a WhatsApp video where we send some text back and forth, and that one is actually converting really well as well because it sort of grabs the attention because they recognize the how it actually looks. So that's pretty cool as well.
That's crazy. Now back to the blog post. So you're driving them. So basically from your personal business page, emoticons in the description, and driving them to your blog. How are you tracking how far they read?
We're using Connect with Target for that. So using Connect with Target, which is one of our own tools, we can actually retarget, basically behavioral retargeting. So you can, for example, say, well, if they read more than 25%, then we're going to create a custom audience on Facebook for just those people. And then we can just retarget that specific group of people. Or for example, if they spend more than 1 minute reading this article, then we create a retargeting audience, and then we can retarget them on Facebook.
Oh, very cool. So obviously starting off primarily with video ads, you're using emoticons. What are some of the other tips and crazy stuff you guys are doing that's really getting a ton of ROI for you?
Yeah, well, it's funny. The one thing I learned from Russell, and that is to tell stories. Because when I started running ads, I was writing it with the idea that I was actually writing an ad, and that did not go well. And I see a lot of people doing that, right? So they're trying to engage people on like what the benefits are, or like whatever. Like it's a typical ad, like it's all salesy and whatnot. Even though they're trying to hide it, but it still is. So I changed that into writing, especially for a cold audience, into just writing a story, right? And like the first couple of sentences just to get the attention. So for example, one of my ads would start like something like, oh, I remembered like yesterday I was crying like a little baby. I checked my phone out, like I woke up, I checked my phone, and there it was, an email from Google, and they shut down all my accounts. Like I remember exactly how I felt. Oh, what a disaster! That's how I write my ads, right? And I try to get people into that story instead of just trying to sell them right away. And I've noticed that writing compelling stories is especially for a cold audience is way more effective.
Super, super cool. Tell me, how long are your videos? Because I know that's one of the big things I always get asked. How long should a video be as a video ad?
Yeah, that's actually a funny story. So I always, like when we started out and I was doing video ads and they were converting insanely well, so ROI wise, and I thought I had it all figured out, and I thought they were converting because my videos were great. And those videos were like five minutes long, roughly. And at some point I had a call with Facebook. I always do like a regular call to see if everything's going well and things like that. And he actually he said, hey, let's go over your stats for a moment. And I'm like, oh, sure, let's do it, right? And he said, do you know how long what's the average time spent on your video ads? I'm like, no idea. And up until that point I never checked it, right? And the average, I believe it was like 5 or 6 seconds. And I was like, what the, like all this time I thought it was because of the video. So that made me realize it's not really as much about it's not just about the video. Obviously, Facebook prefers video as well because people stay on their platform even though you're still spending money, and they could click through, but a lot of them they won't. So that's a good thing for Facebook, and that makes it a bit cheaper. But also, like there's people who like video and there's people who like to read. So I make sure that the story that is in the actual video is also in the actual ad, like in the description above it, right? So people, if they want to read, they can just click on continue reading and they read it. If they want to see the video, that's fine as well. And that way you sort of capture both. And in terms of how long the videos should be, I'm not sure how long they should be, but mine are roughly usually between either 2 or 3 minutes or 4 or 5. So in that area, I just go with the flow when I record it, and I upload it to Facebook.
Awesome. So are you making sure that you have all the text in there as well on the video?
Yeah, definitely. Like usually initially not, once again, because I just want to go fast. And so I'm not going to do that for every single video. First, I want to get a little bit of data so I know which ones are not converting anyway. I'll just remove those before doing that.
Very cool. So what services are you using to put all the text into your videos?
Actually, got one of my team do that, but I believe we actually upload it to YouTube and then download it from YouTube because they're doing a way better job on actually converting text to like audio to text. So we're actually using YouTube, then downloading the CSV file from there, and then making a couple of changes manually, and then uploading that to Facebook.
Oh, very cool. That's an awesome idea. Because you're right. I've seen YouTube's transcriptions are a lot better than forcing on
Exactly, and you
Facebook.
can
So,
export them and then upload them to Facebook.
oh, that's a cool idea. So I know you've got a ton of stuff that you're doing. Tell me with the products and things that you're looking at, are most of yours physical products? Are most of these information products? Are you finding different strategies work better on Facebook ads for either physical versus information products?
Everything that I'm selling is actually software. So I'm not selling physical products. I'm not selling information products as such. Although obviously, I think a lot of the angles, a lot of the things will be the exact same between info products versus software products. It's just like it's both digital, right? But I haven't sold. I have sold physical products in the past. And but I'm not doing it right now. But I noticed when I was doing it, like when I was selling, for example, T-shirts for like $10 or $15, then everything that I just described will be completely different, right? Because I'm selling products for like a couple $100 up to $1,000 a year, and people don't buy that right on the spot. But if you have a cool T-shirt or something that is, just $10, you don't have to get them onto a webinar first, right? You don't have to like target them or let them read your content and then retarget them. Like for a $10 product, I would go straight for the kill, right? You wanna make sure that it, like, then in that case it could be an ad, right? It could actually be an ad as long as your targeting is right. So
I love
yeah,
it.
there's different strategies for every pricing level, I would say.
So your price point's primarily, $100 to $1,000 a year type of deal. Is that right?
Yeah, a couple hundred a year to 1,000 a year. Yeah.
So with that, kind of walk me through your campaign then. You can start off, first of all, when you're warming them up with the blog marketing. And after you get them warmed up, then you go to the video. Is that right?
Yeah, you will. We got multiple. Like we have the very first step would either be the blog, but we also have some various content-only videos, which could either be just me doing some quick Facebook lives, right, just on my phone, and then we run like if we see that people are liking it, people are actually enjoying it, then we target it more broadly, and then from there we actually retarget those who watched at least X amount of time of the actual video. And so then it goes sort of to the second step, which is video ads, for which we're trying to get them to sign up for the webinar. But we're also using that also to as the first step, right? So part of it goes to the other ones, but we're also targeting to various lookalike audiences straight to that video ad, which gets them into the webinar. So they sign up for the webinar. And then, and then obviously we do some retargeting after, like depending on whether they joined the webinar or depending on whether they visited the checkout page and things like that. Depending on where they have been, we're retargeting them. And if anyone wants to have like, if someone wants to create a good retargeting ad for your product, but you don't have the creativity of what to write, here's a good one. Like what you need to do first is ask some people, some customers of you, what they think of your product, like to gather some testimonials. And then you create a carousel ad on Facebook, which is like the slider where you have like multiple elements, right? And what you do is for every image, you just upload their face. That's it, just their face. And so you have like various carousels with like various faces of your customers. And then in the small description below, you have something like what the testimonial was. It has to be short because you don't have much text. So you want to pick the best one. And then the top of the ad in the description, you just something like hey, notice you checked out a viral, awesome. By the way, here's what our current customers are saying about us. And it's not pitchy or salesy or anything like that. But we've seen that convert insanely well. And obviously, it doesn't matter which testimonial they click on, they will always go to your sales page.
I love that. That's fantastic. I can tell you, we've seen that. There's nothing better than social proof, and people love, especially if they're looking at a product, want to hear what other people said about it. That's really a cool idea. So are you going to is it a video testimonial or is it a written testimonial?
Depends on what you can get. Yeah, we have both. I haven't really split tested those. So if I have a video, I'll add a video in there. But if it's just an image, I'll just upload the image, like the face image of his or her face. Yep.
Very cool. Well, awesome. Wilco, I know you got a ton going on these days. So tell me any other tips and tricks before I let you go?
I would say no. Like if if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I want to do all these things, don't pick one, do it, implement, and then go to the next one, right? Like if you want to have one tip, what you can do right now today is just pick up your phone and start doing Facebook Live, like every single day. Practice your story, practice your message, and you can use those exact same videos as your video ads, right? So you can just record them right now. You don't have to spend a lot of time on writing the script. Just go with the flow. And then as you go along, you start to learn things, and then you add things on your list what you want to do, but you don't want to add them all to your list at the same day because that's not going to work.
Oh man, I absolutely love that. I can tell you, Wilco, we were talking about this in our circle a while back, and that was the importance of just doing a 30-day challenge as far as doing a Facebook Live every day for 30 days. And I set up a different page and literally did that, and I was shocked at a couple of different things that I learned. One of those things was how bad I was at telling stories right off the bat, even though I talked about it all the time. But more importantly, it allowed me the opportunity really of learning my voice and of being able to find out what worked. And I was able to get feedback from people. And it was really, I'm a huge, huge believer. In fact, I will probably continue to do that on a regular basis of trying to do at least a Facebook Live a day for no other reason than just really to try to understand your voice and to get your voice out.
To gather data, once again.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
In a way, it's the same thing, right? You're just learning what works, what doesn't work, and you're not doing that to get results right away, but you're doing that because you know it's going to help you in the long term.
I love that. Great advice. Well, Wilco, I know a lot of people on our side have used your software, both UpViral and Connect.io. If a person wants to find out more about you, how do they reach out to you? Where should we send them to?
You can definitely find me on Facebook, but the best way to reach out to me is actually through upviral.com and connectio.io as well. Like I don't have, I should probably, but I don't have a personal website. So it's either through UpViral or through Connect.io, or you can find me on Facebook as well. Obviously, if you search for me, you'll find my own page, and I'll do Facebook Lives. I'll share more strategies and things that are working for me. So definitely look up Wilco the Cry on Facebook as well.
That is fantastic. And again, I'll make sure we have links down in the show notes for everybody to links to upviral.com and to connectio.io, and also Wilco, Wilco, and then last name is DE and then space KREIJ. So
exactly.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Wilco. I appreciate it. I know you're on the other side of the world from me, time zone wise, so I know it's late where you're at. And I really appreciate you taking time today to have this interview.
No problem. I'm happy to share some value here.
Thanks, bud. We'll talk to you real soon.
Talk soon, man.
Thanks for listening to Funnel Hacker Radio Podcast. If you'd like to be notified anytime we release a new episode, just subscribe over at funnelhackerradio.com. In addition to that, we'd love to send you a free gift. You can find that free gift at funnelhackerradio.com/free trial. One last thing is we love giving away cars. So if you'd like access to a free dream car, all you have to do is go to funnelhackerradio.com/dream car and you'll get all the details. Thanks again for listening.